In the world of art, especially for beginners, there's a common misconception that using reference is a form of weakness or even cheating. Many young artists believe that true skill lies in drawing purely from imagination, without looking at any external source. This idea, while popular, is fundamentally flawed and often becomes one of the biggest obstacles in an artist's growth. In reality, reference is not a shortcut or a crutch. It is one of the most powerful tools an artist can use to improve, learn, and develop mastery. Understanding why reference is necessary, how it works, and how to use it correctly can completely change the trajectory of an artist's journey. To begin with, the most important reason we need reference is because human perception and memory are limited. When we look at an object, our brain does not store every detail with perfect accuracy. Instead, it simplifies shapes, ignores subtle variations, and fills gaps with assumptions. For example, when someone tries to draw a human face from imagination, they often rely on a symbol of a face stored in their mind rather than the actual complex structure of bones, muscles, and proportions. This is why beginner drawings often look flat, stiff, or unrealistic. Reference corrects this problem by providing a direct connection to reality. It shows what is actually there, not what we think is there. Reference also plays a crucial role in training observation, which is one of the most important skills in art. Drawing is not just about moving your hand. It is about learning how to see. When you use reference properly, you start to notice subtle details that you would normally ignore. You begin to understand how light interacts with different surfaces, how forms change depending on perspective, and how small variations in proportion can completely alter the look of a subject. Over time, this process strengthens your ability to observe and interpret the world accurately. This is what separates an average artist from a skilled one, the ability to see beyond assumptions. Another major benefit of using reference is that it helps build what artists call a visual library. This is essentially a collection of visual knowledge stored in your brain. Every time you study reference carefully, you're adding more information to this library. For instance, if you study hands from different angles multiple times, your brain begins to understand their structure more deeply. Eventually, you can draw hands from imagination with much greater accuracy because you have trained your mind through observation. In this way, reference does not limit imagination, it actually strengthens it. However, it is important to understand that not all reference is equally useful. There's a clear difference between good reference and bad reference, and this difference can significantly impact your progress. Good reference is clear, high quality, and informative. It provides accurate information about form, lighting, texture, and proportion. For example, a well-lit photograph of a face where the planes are visible and shadows are natural is a good reference. It allows you to study how light falls across the structure and how different parts relate to each other. Bad reference, on the other hand, can mislead you. Low-resolution images, heavily edited photos, or images with extreme filters often hide important details. If shadows are too dark or highlights are blown out, you lose valuable information about form. Similarly, using stylized artwork as reference without understanding the basics can be problematic. While stylized art can be inspiring, it often exaggerates or simplifies reality. If you rely on it too early, you may develop incorrect habits or misunderstand fundamental concepts like anatomy and perspective. A very important distinction to make is between copying and studying reference. Many beginners fall into the trap of copying images without truly understanding them. Copying involves trying to replicate what you see as closely as possible, focusing only on the final result. While this can improve hand control to some extent, it does not significantly improve your understanding. Studying reference, however, is a much deeper process. It involves analyzing what you see and asking questions. Why is the shadow shaped this way? What is the underlying form? How does the light source affect the object? This approach turns reference into a learning tool rather than just something to imitate. Reference is also essential for improving rendering skills. Rendering is the process of adding light, shadow, and detail to create a sense of realism and depth. Without reference, rendering often becomes guesswork. Artists may place highlights and shadows randomly, resulting in flat or unrealistic images. Reference provides a guide for how light behaves in real situations. It shows the relationship between light and form, helping you understand concepts like coarse shadow, reflected light, and ambient occlusion. These are not things that can be easily invented. They need to be observed and studied. In addition, using reference builds accuracy and confidence. When you draw without reference, it can be difficult to identify what went wrong if the result looks off. There is no clear standard to compare your work against. But with reference, you have a visual benchmark. You could directly compare your drawing to the reference and see where you made mistakes. This creates a feedback loop that accelerates learning. Over time, as your accuracy improves, your confidence grows because you know you are building your skills on a solid foundation. It is also worth noting that even professional artists rely heavily on reference. This might be surprising to beginners who assume that experts draw everything from imagination. In reality, professionals use reference strategically. They may gather multiple images, study real-life objects, or even create their own reference by taking photos or using 3D models. This allows them to achieve higher levels of realism and complexity in their work. The difference is not that professionals avoid reference. It is that they know how to use it effectively. Another advantage of reference is that it makes practice more efficient. Instead of guessing and making repeated mistakes, you are learning directly from accurate information. This is especially important for beginners who are still developing their fundamentals. By consistently using good reference, you can avoid building bad habits that are difficult to correct later. It also helps you focus your practice on specific areas, such as anatomy, lighting, or perspective, making your efforts more targeted and productive. However, while reference is extremely important, it is also necessary to balance it with imagination. The goal is not to become dependent on reference for every single drawing, but to use it as a tool for learning and improvement. A good practice method is to study from reference and then try to draw the same subject from memory. After that, you can compare your drawing with a reference to identify mistakes. This combination of observation and recall strengthens both your understanding and your creative ability. In conclusion, reference is one of the most essential elements in the process of learning art. It provides accurate information, improves observation skills, builds a strong visual library, and enhances rendering and realism. The difference between good and bad reference can greatly influence your progress, making it important to choose high-quality and informative sources. Most importantly, the way you use reference determines its effectiveness. Simply copying images will not lead to significant improvement, but studying and analyzing them will. Far from limiting creativity, reference actually empowers it by giving you the knowledge and confidence to create better art. When used correctly, it transforms confusion into clarity and effort into real, visible progress. So yeah, reference isn't cheating. It's actually the thing that can take your art from average to insane level. If you start using reference the right way from today, I promise you'll see a huge difference in your art way faster than you expect. If this helped you even a little, make sure to like and subscribe, because I'm going to share more real tips that actually work. And don't forget, every pro you look up to once struggled with the same things you're struggling with right now. So keep drawing, keep improving, and I'll see you in the next one.